White American Gen X parent in the chat. Hi, Liz. I'm not sure if your name is actually Liz because your username is kind of hard to decipher, but your perspective is not a unique one. So I'm going to make an example out of you. Let's get into it.
I welcome you to today's video, and it's a trending video right now on TikTok about Gen X parents. Are you a Gen X parent or are you raised by one? So you have something to tell me, and you better give me a good comment. I know I don't have that American accent. Is my English boring? I love my accent. I know you do, even though I don't. But guys, I know how to reply comments. Kindly give me your thoughts kindly in the comment section. This is a video that he had to call all the Gen X parents because of a mother who had to send off his child simply for coming home without uninformed. Simple courtesy call. If you want to come to see me, you should have called earlier before you come to my house. So Gen X parents, show up, and if you're raised by one, show up here. Let me play the clip so that you enjoy seeing the scene. It was so amazing to see this.
You are always stopping by unannounced.
So what? You're my mother.
It's only common courtesy you should call first.
All right, I'll call you next time.
Nope, you're going to call this time.
What?
We're going to practice. Get out your phone.
Practice? I don't need to practice.
Call me.
Mom, I'm talking to you right here. This is ridiculous.
I'm going to show you how this goes. Get out your phone.
Oh my God, you're fucking losing it, dude. You are losing it. You gonna answer?
Oh, shh, quiet for just a minute. I have a call. Hello?
Hey, Mom, I was just wondering if I could stop by.
Right now is not really a good time. I'll give you a call later.
Why are you like this?
I know you can't relate with this. Let's keep going. So this is how all this unfolded. Wait and see.
Let's get into it. Liz has left this comment on a video where I talk about growing up with white American parents, and I very unacademically theorize that part of white American culture is resenting your children. Basically just for existing, for having any needs at all, costing any amount of money at all. They hate that. Now, I responded to your comment, Liz. You were there, you remember. And at first, I'll admit, I responded with pettiness because when I got a closer look at you, it does look like you are allergic to moisturizer and eye cream. But Liz got me back. She got me good with the classic line of calling me entitled. Favorite zinger of conservatives everywhere. Now, I did want to confirm that I am not necessarily talking about adult children and their relationship with their parents' house. I am talking about minors, children. But Liz has doubled down, saying, did you actually believe that as a teenager, the house was yours? I'm sorry, Liz, do you know how crazy that sounds? Why would a teenager not think that the house they lived in was theirs? A teenager is still a child. So I asked, do you believe that your child should still have anything to do with you if while growing up, they were nothing but just a guest? And this is my favorite part. She came back with, not a guest, a dependent. Your kids need to understand that everything costs money and nothing in life is free. And she's kind of right. Nothing in life is free. Certainly not our love. This is the fundamental issue that I have with this type of white Gen X parent. Their children were concerned with just being children. Meanwhile, these parents had children for no reason other than obligation. I would bet that if you pulled aside your average white Gen X parent and you asked them, why did you have kids? They really wouldn't have an answer for you. There was no why. They were not thinking, it was just something you did. Thinking about the gravity of what it means to create a person and be almost entirely responsible for shaping their psyche is just not something that ever crossed their mind. To a typical white Gen X parent, having a child is nothing more than a step along the way of a socially predetermined path that they followed blindly because it was what they were supposed to do. So when the reality of having a child they never even really wanted hits them, their number one concern is their finances. How it'll affect their assets, how it'll change how they fill out their tax forms. A child can only ever be an unwelcome burden to anybody whose first and foremost concern is their bank account. I am not going to change Liz's mind here or any other Gen X parent. They have made their bed and they are actually content to lie in it. However, I would be remiss if I ignored the trend of Gen Xers hopping on social media, creating whole forum pages to lament about their children going no contact with them. Are you shocked? Are you shocked? Don't be shocked. You treated your children like nothing more than parasites. Leeches, drains. You got what you asked for. They're leaving you alone. You basically housed orphans. You were not a parent, considering how eager you were to kick out your children as soon as you legally could. Because although you justify this style of parenting by saying that it's teaching your kids basic economics, you are also exhibiting severe cruelty by kicking your children out as soon as you legally can because you are ignorant to economics in modern day reality and not just in like past theory. You have set them up for failure. You could have given them a leg up, but you took them out at the knees instead. Why would they talk to you? Enjoy the end of your life alone.
Let me talk to you for a minute. So here's the thing. I am not going to blatantly outright disagree with you, and I'm not going to tell you I think that you're wrong. I don't think that you're wrong. As a white American Gen X parent, I think you're correct that many of my cohorts act that way. I think it is also a correct statement to say that is very much giving the white boomer parent. Because that's what I had, and that describes my mother to a T. And like when I tried to come home, when I was going to be homeless when I was 25 and was getting divorced, my mother told me no. She told me no, I could not move home. My dad overheard the conversation and he called me back and he said, "You're leaving?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I'm getting divorced." And he said, "When do you need me there to get you?" And I said, "Mom said I can't come home." He said, "I don't care what she said. You're my baby, you can come home." My dad always had my back. My mother, So I also feel like that is more specific to women who are the worst parent. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those men could be some bad parents too, but I saw a lot more shitty mom parents than dad parents. From the boomer generation, from my generation, there were probably a lot of single white female parents who were shitty. If I had to guess, I'm a single parent, and there have been times when I probably was shitty. However, my kids will both tell you that they are welcome here at any time. I don't make them feel like a burden. In fact, I make an effort not to. And I make sure they do understand how much money costs, but and I do unfortunately use the line, "This is my house," blah, blah, blah. But now, I definitely don't feel like, oh, well, when you turn 18, you got to get out. My kids can live with me as long as they need to. As long as they want to be with mama, they can be with mama. If they want to leave and come back 57 times, they can leave and come back 58 times. But I do not disagree, and I don't think you're wrong. But I think we can add on to it those boomer mamas. Bye. I hope you have a great night.
Is Gen X okay? No, seriously, are you guys okay?
What kind of stupid fucking question is that? We're fine. It's 2023. This shit is a cakewalk. We got like 900 TV channels and Prozac. Our kids are grown or almost grown, and our parents are either dead or too old to threaten to kill us every day. I brought you into this world. I could take you out of it. Our boomer parents could turn anything violent. Hey, Dad, can I get a paper towel? I'll paper your towel. We didn't have anti-bullying campaigns. Our parents bullied us. If we got hurt, like really hurt, our parents were pissed. Our parents would leave us places all the time. They'd forget us at the store, and there's no way to get a hold of them. So you just have to sit there and hope they came back for you. The school had to take our pictures and fingerprint us in case we got kidnapped. We were like 30 years old when we were 12. Already smoking cigarettes, drinking our parents' liquor. We are older than Google. We spent 30 years taking a dump without a cell phone, and no one had to tell us not to eat fucking laundry detergent. So yeah, I mean, we're okay. We're okay.
Something. What are you thinking about? Can you share your thoughts? This clip, this lady seemed to have heard like the worst Gen X parents in the world, and yeah, she's listing a number of things she went through. So let me let you listen to the clip.
We had no timeouts. It was a belt, and you better not cry for long. If you were injured, you had to wait till the next day to go see a doctor, broken bones and all. My parents' safety tip was avoid white vans. You used a phone in the same room as everybody else, so you had to learn to talk in code. We did not eat out anywhere. All birthday parties were spend the night parties where girls got together and told each other their biggest flaws. I can still remember all of mine. Our treats were going to the gas station to pay for things with our own money that we made from working. My parents did not know one person that I was spending the night with. Their parents were the kids. We watched the shuttle explode and then had to turn around and learn math. I only heard about tragic stories and tragic situations, period. Positivity was a maybe. If you made a 0 because you didn't do your homework or failed a test, that's what there were no redos. Most of us drank and smoked by the time we were 14, so you had to be crazy sneaky. No one asked me how I was doing, what my feelings were like, or if I was okay. No. We went to parks that were an accident waiting to happen, and our parents were not with us. I did my own school projects, and I better not come in there looking for poster board at any time. It better be a month before. No parents came up there and brought cupcakes for a birthday party. That was not an option. And chances are what I asked for my birthday, I did not get. And they wonder why we're a little angry. And I learned everything I needed to know from life from 7th grade girls, period, the end. And we have ruined our kids. We have done the opposite of all that, and now we've got a train wreck. They can't do anything. All they do is spend money and go to Starbucks and eat out, and they don't know how to work. They don't know how to do anything, and we have ruined this generation. We're all guilty. Not every one of us. Don't even act like you're not.
You are a person who has parents that think like this, like your house is not your house. The food is not your food, like all that shit. If they tell you constantly how much money you cost, or they try to make you feel bad about that shit, or they try to intone that you are the reason their life is not going how they want, like, understand, this is something that took me tens of thousands of dollars and years of therapy to fully grasp. Understand that however old you are, that is the maximum number of years you could have ruined their life. If you're 16, this motherfucker has only had you to blame for 16 years. Do you feel me? Like, if you're 30, this fucker has only had 30 years to blame. Like, they lived an entire life before you existed.
We also got to talk about the ones who like to use it as a mental game. My mom liked to prove her dominance all the time. And on my sweet 16 birthday party that we had planned out, she woke up that day and just decided that I no longer needed that. I no longer deserved that. And fast forward to that evening after everything didn't go, like, we didn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. And she decided to come in my room and pick her fight with me because she's just mad. She just got to thinking and she was over it, and I was just, and it ended up in the kitchen where she looked me dead in my eyes and was screaming at me. Like, this one went batshit crazy that night about how she no longer could live anymore, that I had pushed her to the brink, that she had to grab something out of a drawer and check out of this life because of me. Like, and you're wondering why I don't talk to you no more, why you never get to see your grandkids and the ones that we've had since then. It's not rocket science. Like, you cannot mentally play games with somebody and use that stuff against them and just they grow up and it's like, oh, that never happened, because I did call you out on it and it never happened, or it just didn't happen to that extent. Yeah, you did try to do that, but like it was always my fault. But anyways, yeah, there's parents that just straight up will just mentally abuse you just for fun. It's not about the money. It's literally just for fun because they have nothing better to do. Their lives literally suck, and that's what they have to do.
Go back to the source. Let's continue up with this conversation first.
To confirm that I am not necessarily talking about adult children and their relationship with their parents' house. I am talking about minors, children. But Liz has doubled down, saying, did you actually believe that as a teenager, the house was yours? I'm sorry, Liz, do you know how crazy that sounds? Why would a teenager not think that the house they lived in was theirs? A teenager is still a child. So I asked, do you believe that your child should still have anything to do with you if while growing up, they were nothing but just a guest? And this is my favorite part. She came back with, not a guest, a dependent. Your kids need to understand that everything costs money and nothing in life is free. And she's kind of right. Nothing in life is free. Certainly not our love. This is the fundamental issue that I have with this type of white Gen X parent. Their children were concerned with just being children. Meanwhile, these parents had children for no reason other than obligation. I would bet that if you pulled aside your average white Gen X parent and you asked them, why did you have kids? They really wouldn't have an answer for you. There was no why. They were not thinking, it was just something you did. Thinking about the gravity of what it means to create a person and be almost entirely responsible for shaping their psyche is just not something that ever crossed their mind. To a typical white Gen X parent, having a child is nothing more than a step along the way of a socially predetermined path that they followed blindly because it was what they were supposed to do. So when the reality of having a child they never even really wanted hits them, their number one concern is their finances. How it'll affect their assets, how it'll change how they fill out their tax forms. A child can only ever be an unwelcome burden to anybody whose first and foremost concern is their bank account. I am not going to change Liz's mind here or any other Gen X parent. They have made their bed and they are actually content to lie in it.
Okay, here it goes. Everything you said is spot on. I'm a Gen X mom. I had to completely learn how to treat my kids, how to love them. And even further, do you know that the human race is the only one that separates their kids at birth? Everything. And white America does that. We train these kids. You're going to leave. You're going to leave. Why do they have to leave? Who says they have to leave? This whole thinking sets them up for failure. Who says they have to leave? Why can't we all live with peace, harmony, some rules, some understandings? I don't like the word rules. Some understandings, and support each other all the way through. But no. Get out, kids. Why?
That pausing at the end tells you that. Think about it. So, I don't know what decision are you going to make. If you're planning on having your future kids, how are you going to handle them? Will they be something that you'll just come in and go? Let me say something, because it's things that we throw away. If we have kids, we have to keep them. Even when they're gone, even when they marry, we still have to keep in touch and not putting rules and setting them on them, rules on them. So I appreciate that you spent time with me, Comfort for Life Network. I love you so much and I appreciate your time. Remember to smash that like button. Also, leave me your thoughts. Thank you. Goodbye, lovelies. I appreciate